before your product's ready to go out there and be market ready. The other part is with beer, you're looking at about 3 weeks from idea to your glass.
Wow.
Fads and styles change in the alcohol industries, and one year it's Syrahs, next year it's Grenaches or Tempranillos, and if you're producing it 2017, and all of a sudden 2020 you're bringing this bottle out and people aren't
and
into
it's
it
not
anymore,
the wine that's all the rave anymore. Oh.
You guys come up with an idea now on the beer, 3 weeks later you're coming back and tasting it, and that fad hasn't had a chance to go away yet. So that's what's kind of nice about it.
Oh, that's so cool. So as a winemaker, do you find that sometimes, how often would you say that some of your ideas are a flop, or how often are they like, oh no, that was really successful?
A lot less than they used to be.
Okay.
Like I used to tell everybody, I got a really green lawn from all the batches I used to dump when I started out. We've gotten better. I barely have enough to put into the dump bucket by the end of the night. So
well, awesome.
We're doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's get started. So our first wine is right there, and
that's the Candelina Bianca.
Okay.
Should be.
That is actually the Tango with the mango.
Oh, okay, Tango with the mango. That is our mango Gewürztraminer. The Gewürztraminer comes out of Yakima region, out of, I think it's Sunnyside. And what we do is we blend that with our mangoes. We get mangoes shipped in, we freeze them, we blanch the fruit, and we add it in secondary fermentation. So you get that fresh fruit on the forward palate, a little sweeter.
I mean, you can smell the mango immediately. Oh my goodness, wow. It tastes like those dried mangoes, like you get from the grocery store.
Candied mangoes?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't want to put it at the beginning of the process. You'll cook out a lot of the fruit, you'll end up with higher acids, and you won't end up with that soft part of the palate.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if I've ever had wine like this, to be honest. Like this flavor forward.
Yeah.
Oh wow. It smells amazing and it tastes amazing. So how long does it take for a wine like this to be?
That one we're looking at about 8 months on it.
Okay.
8 months from the time we start the fermentation to the time we're putting it in the bottle.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And so where do you come up with ideas like this, like mangoes?
Friends, family, mainly my wife, and Andrea, who's, as I like to say, I'm the boss, but that's the boss's boss. She comes up with a lot of great ideas. She's listening to what people are bringing up, the different ideas, the different styles that are coming out. And we do a lot of small lot test batches to find the right recipe. And we sit down and we work a lot of blending techniques and back blending.
Okay. That's very cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I'm super impressed by this. Yeah. If you're not a wine drinker, but you try, I would definitely recommend, and I'm excited to try the rest of them, but Scatter Creek's Tango Mango is not like any wine I feel like you've ever had. So I would recommend for sure, especially if you're not a big wine drinker. So, all right. What have we got next?
Wally's Summer Crush.
Wally's Summer Crush.
It's
wow.
My assistant, probably about 1.5 years ago, Isaac, he wanted to make a watermelon wine, and I told him, no, we're not going to make a watermelon wine. This isn't at this level down here. And he said, well, how about I make a watermelon and we blend it with something? So we tried with our Gewürztraminer, we tried with a few different things, and when we hit it with the Chardonnay, it was like, okay, let's go to process with this.
Interesting.
The Wally his name is Isaac Wall, and when he was in the Junior Marines, his uniform said Wall, I. So he wanted this one named after him, so that's why it's Wally.
Oh my
goodness. And this is Isaac's little creation, and I just keep it going because it's like that Jolly Rancher, that watermelon Jolly Rancher.
And it smells like that. Like even before I had tasted it, it smells like the watermelon's really strong. Okay, so I'm excited. That's exactly what it tastes like. It tastes
watermelon
like
Jolly Rancher.
A watermelon Jolly Rancher. Oh my goodness. Wow. So what kind of food, like obviously it's very summery, Like, what kind of food would you recommend with
With
this?
something like that, I would probably do like a honey glazed grilled chicken breast.
Ooh.
Maybe a little bit of risotto, some garlic fries to go with it. But I'm a foodie, so
Something
that's,
savory.
yeah.
Yeah. To kind of get that other part of the palate.
Yeah.
Fill out the, oh yeah. Oh my goodness. So you mentioned that one of your favorite wines is Chardonnay, but it's not one that we have today. Can you tell me about that wine?
That's the Gewürztraminer, Valley de
Okay.
Bon Blanco. That's our, in 2009, it was entered into Capital Food and Wine Festival. It was fresh release, hadn't released it out to the public, and Wine Press Northwest used to evaluate the wines for Capital Food and Wine Festival, and we got told we might want to bring the camera, and we
Okay.
found out we not only took a gold on his first time out,
Wow.
but took best white wine out of 41 wineries.
Out of 40,
and-
that's crazy.
And it was quite an honor. I haven't tried to put it back in there because where do you go from a double gold? But
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
right.
so I wanted to leave it up on its pedestal.
Yeah,
and
you
kind
don't
of,
want to like put it back in and then be like disappointed.
what I do with the Gewürztraminer is I add elderberry flowers into the secondary fermentation,
Oh.
brings out the floral bouquet, and it's similar to like a Leap from Milcher Peas Porter in the aromatics, but it also emulates what a beer does. Like when you put an aromatic hop onto like a nice pale ale, and you end up with that soft nose to it, that's the same type of thing you get with the Gewürztraminer here.
Okay.
And we do it in off-dry. I don't do it the traditional, sweeter version, kind of like the Johannesburg Rieslings.
Right.
We do it a little bit off-dry. That's kind of my favorite go-to.
Ooh. Okay, that sounds amazing. So if I'm wanting to get a glass, because we don't have it today, where can I go?
You can get it at Scatter Creek Wine.
At Scatter Creek.
Yeah.
And is that the only place that you guys are selling?
Not exactly sure yet on the
Okay.
distribution of where it's all
Okay.
going to.
But okay, so but I gotta be looking for the Scatter Creek brand. Awesome. Okay, so we've got one more white. What is this?
Candelina Bianca.
Okay.
This is our 100% Chardonnay. We do this one in stainless. I do give it a 2-week finish with medium plus toast, Seguin Moreau, French oak, just to give a little bit of the buttery notes to it, but
Oh.
not to overpower it. I try not to give it an untoasted American oak like a lot of the California Chardonnays are. I think it overrides a lot of the palate when you do that, in my opinion.
Totally. So this is definitely more of a classic Chardonnay in so many ways, but like that buttery, almost nutty, taste really comes out in the end. That's amazing.
That Seguin Moreau barrel is great for it.
Okay, and so tell me, what is that barrel? 'Cause, like, tell me what that actually
The
means.
Seguin Moreau is one of the best barrel makers out there.
Okay.
And we use a medium plus toast. The darker the toast, the more the vanillin is extracted out of the wood. When you burn the wood, that's how a lot of vanillin is actually made. Is they press
Interesting.
alcohol through burned wood, and the vanillin is extracted through that charring process.
Wow.
So I like a medium plus toast. You get a
Okay.
little bit of the dryness, but you get that forward vanilla notes to
Yes.
it, and it softens the palate. The Seguin Moreau, the barrels are just amazing, and they
Okay.
just give that perfect finish to it.
The vanilla is really strong, but like not overpowering. That's amazing.
I still want you to taste the Chardonnay.
Right. Exactly.
Still.
Oh my goodness, I'm really excited about this one. This one is probably more of what would be my immediate like. Of the other ones, they're amazing, but I feel like it'd be like an occasion.
Yeah.
This is one that I can drink every day.
This is a traditional. You want your everyday drinker. This one is chill it, and it is amazing.
Absolutely.
It's a nice crisp apple finish to it.
Oh my goodness, yes. All right, what's next?
Stonecutter Red Blend.
Ooh, that's sweet.
Yes.
Let me have some water before I start.
This is a Sangiovese and Merlot blend, and what we did is we added blackberry and raspberry into it. What I was trying to do was create a transitional wine for the newer wine drinkers that normally would drink the white Zins or the
Okay,
Rieslings,
yep.
and trying to get them over into the reds. So by adding the blackberry
Oh,
and raspberry,
it has
I've got a
those
little
sweeter notes.
sweetness to it. So we still got them into the reds, but we're transitioning them into the bigger ones. And it was kind of designed between that one and Berry Select.
Okay.
I was trying to get my wife out of the white wines and into the reds, but she never went past those because she liked the sweetness level. So
okay, well, so then that's perfect for me. I definitely land where I would prefer the whites generally. I do want to get more into the reds, and I can appreciate a red, but I tend to stick with the white wine. So I'm excited for this kind of in-between balance. Oh, the berries. Oh my goodness. It's like pie. But
I like having that
not
with
too
like,
sweet.
I like doing like a Cajun season, the baby back ribs.
Oh.
And then I finish it off with like my own barbecue sauces that I make. And I put a lot more of a honey glaze to it, and that complements that.
Oh my goodness. See, I'm gonna need to leave after this and go find food. I'm gonna be starving. This is, oh. Yes, this is amazing, and it is a perfect balance for, like, I think you did such a good job finding the middle ground between white and red. Yeah, and
because it's so hard to go right from your Rieslings or your white Zins to a Cab, a Merlot,
right, and it's like it's a
Zin.
big
So
difference.
this is kind of that. Here's this little training wheels for you. Let's get you on to the next step and get you onto the big bite.
See, my parents would be so proud of me that they're like, "Hey, you're finally drinking red
Look
wine."
at a picture of you with a glass of red wine.
There you go. Oh my goodness, no, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm super impressed. So you're very creative in your winemaking.
I don't like copying.
Awesome, that's a good quality.
We want to be different. We are different. Period.
Right.
The thing about it is, there's enough straight Merlots out there. Great quality. I'm not going to say it, but I'm not going to compete with the other Merlots when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
By creating these different ones, we have something a lot of people don't. We're opening doorways, pathways. I might not be the best at what I do, but I'm going to open a doorway and say, hey, let's add mango to Gewürztraminer. Let's add peach to Chardonnay.
Because there's so many wineries, so you have to find a niche, right? You have to find where do you fit into this whole world of wine. Awesome, that's awesome.
Yeah, we have the traditional whites, traditional reds, and what my wife likes to call the fun and fruity. I call them the summer series. They're a little sweeter, they're a little softer. It's summertime, you have them chilled.
And do you usually only have them available in summertime? No, they're available all the time. Okay,
good
to know.
They were originally 4 or 5 years ago available just in the summertime.
Okay.
But with all the requests for it, it just
it's like
you
gotta keep it going because people want it.
The only two that we actually keep on the seasonal notes is our it's our Glühwein, German Glühwein.
Okay.
And it's a red wine that we put the berries in it and we add the mulling spices to it and we age it in that. And then the other one is the white wine version. We use our peach Chardonnay with the same mulling spices to it, but I add Madagascar vanilla bean to it. I use more of the sweet orange peel to release those acids. And that we serve that one hot, and it's like a peach. You ever eat a peach cobbler?
Oh yeah.
When you get done scooping out your peach and your crust, you got that little gravy floating around.
Right.
That's what's in the glass. That love that's floating around it.
Oh.
That's what that.
And you said you serve it hot.
We serve it hot, just like you do a Glühwein.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
In Germany, Bavaria, where they go to do this along the street corners, there will be the little carts, and they'll be serving it, ladling it out into cups as you're walking down between the markets.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a
I know where I'm
Christmas
going
time.
on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds amazing.
It is fun.
And so so you said it was seasonal, so Christmas time?
We bring it in at the first part of October and we phase it out usually towards the end of January.
Okay.
So getting everybody through the holidays.
And that you're specifically just serving at your winery?
We have that at the winery, and we also have it bottled and ready to go.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
When we first started bringing it out, we would give you guys the mulling seasoning package that we would put together. And then people would come back and say, we can't make it like you. We can't make it like you.
Right.
So I enclose part of my system, recirculatory, and I process it myself.
Okay.
And then we bulk age it and then bottle it. And then this way, all you have to do, you pop the cork. You've got a few different ways you can do it. You can put it into a glass. You can heat it up in the microwave for a single serving. You can pour it into a crock pot, turn it on high, take an orange and make nice paper thin slices, layer it on top, let it sit for about 5 minutes and it releases the aromatics. Put it on the table, pull the lid, put a ladle in it, and dinner's on.
Oh, I think I know what to bring to Thanksgiving this year. Oh, that sounds amazing. All right, so what do we got now?
This one is our Dave's Raging Red. It's a double gold medal winner through Capital Food and Wine Festival.
Okay.
That's the one we go through. It's 60% Syrah, 20 Merlot, and 20 Cab Sauv.
Okay, so it's a red blend, but. Ooh.
And that is a blend of American oak, where I get the oak pieces and I place those into the other barrel, which is my French oak.
Okay.
So a lot of times when you get one barrel, you get one style of oak. You get one determination of toast, and year after year it degrades less and less. So a lot of them will add barrel staves back in. Well, I started cross blending between the American oak, toasted, untoasted, and bringing that in to bring a little more dryness, but also give that vanilla butter.
Wow. And is that pretty unique? The Scatter Crate, the like cross
I don't want to say
barreling?
that. I don't want to say that. Because I'm sure there's.
You know that it's at least to the area maybe? Or if you don't want to say that, yeah.
I don't want to say anything about anybody else. Somebody else has probably been doing it
hey, we do that too, right?
longer than I have. So.
Oh, that's so cool. So is it difficult to transfer wine from one barrel to the other?
No.
What does that process look like?
No, what you do is you use a piston pump system, and you'll place one hose inside. You hit it with argon. You hit the tank with argon gas because you don't want any oxygen. Oxidizes it, rust, goes bad. Transfer it from one to another, or when you're putting the wine directly into the barrel. Let's say I'm on a 2 or 3 year French oak barrel, and I want to add some of that untoasted American oak. You can buy the barrel staves or the barrel pieces, and you put them down into the barrel, and then you top the wine over that, so you're getting the combination of the two. Because when you get one barrel, you're getting it from one cooperage, 1 year, one style. When you add these other components in, whether you're adding the French or the American, toasted or untoasted, you're changing that flavor and aromatic profile each time.
Wow.
And the duration you leave it in there changes your intensity.
That's so interesting. That's amazing.
It's a little art, a little science.
Right. And that's what's one of the unique things of wine is that it does have that combination of like chemistry and then art.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. That's awesome. All right.
And this is our last one. Inverno Veritas. We had one of our, in fact, he was our second or third wine club member. He fell ill, and he came to see us one of the last times. And he had passed, but before he passed, he said, "When are you going to name a wine after me?" And I said, "Well, what will we call it?" He goes, "Verna." And over our office, we had this saying that said, "In vino veritas," which means in wine there is truth.
Okay.
And I said, "How about Inverno Veritas? In burn there is truth." And we named it after him, and he was there at the right time.
That's so cool.
We consider our wine club and the people that come there our family. Everybody says, "Oh, what kind of wine do you sell?" I said, "I don't sell wine." They go, "What?" I said, "I sell the experience. If wine brings you in the door, the experience brings you back for more."
Right. Oh, absolutely. And what does joining your wine club look like? Like what's that process like? How do you get a membership? All those things.
We have a few different styles. We have what's called the Grapes and Grains Club because we are a brewery and a winery. You can combine either the growlers along with certain amounts. You can say, "Okay, this time I want beer, next time I want wine." So you have that choice there.
Very cool. Okay.
We have the Duet Club, which is 2 bottles every quarter, or the Standard Club, which is 4 bottles. The thing about it is a lot of the wine clubs will pre-pick your wines for you.
Right.
We throw an email out, we suggest, but then you can turn around and say, "Nope, I want all of this," or "I want all of that." We make those adjustments, make the modifications in the price list, contact you back, and then we make your shipment.
Oh, that is so cool.
And we can hold it for a year. And you can come down and pick it up anytime. You can pick up 2 or 3 if you want at one time.
Very cool. And so then with all the craziness of COVID and everything, have you been able to maintain so people can still, like, if they're your members, they can still, like, do that pick up and take home? Oh, that's awesome.
What we've been doing is, even though we've hit phase 3, we've operated under the guidelines of phase 2. We've taken over half of our furniture and moved it out of there.
Okay.
We have hand sanitizing stations. I have a Terril dispenser. Every single table has hand sanitizer. We wear masks in there. We also have masks for anybody that doesn't have one.
Right.
And if they have a medical condition, HIPAA laws, you can't ask.
Right.
So
Oh.
we respect that, and I understand that.
Yeah.
We did during phase 1, in the beginning part of phase 2, we did curbside pickup, and we also
Very
did
cool.
delivery.
Awesome.
And kind of one of the funny things is, my wife, when you have beer, you have to have some food.
Yeah.
So we've been making popcorn, and she has her own little
Okay.
recipe to her popcorn with her pepper oil and her cheeses on there.
Oh my goodness.
So when we've been doing the deliveries,
Uh-huh.
we would make up the popcorn, put them in a little styro container, so this way people can, because people are like, where do we get our popcorn?
Yeah.
And so we send the popcorn out with that, deliver it right there.
Oh, that is
It's
so
fun because
cool.
we get to see where our people live, and we
Right.
get to go up and say
It's
hi
part
to
of that
them.
family piece.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge. That's amazing. It's funny you mentioned popcorn because I was actually thinking that this smelled like popcorn. I'm a huge popcorn fan. I love popcorn. And so when I saw that, that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, oh, it's like buttery. It's almost got like a popcorn.
My
smell
wife
to
has
it.
a philosophy when she
Uh-huh.
makes popcorn. If you can't tip the dish and it slides from this side or slides that side, there's not enough butter in it.
Oh, I like your wife.
I
I'm sorry,
go
I
out
wanna
and I
be
put
her.
a stack of paper towels. I said, here's your oil change rags. They go, oil change rags? I said, yeah, when you guys are done at the end of the night, I collect them up and go out and
Right,
wipe
yeah.
down the rear end of the old Chevy and we get through the day.
Perfect. So this is a Syrah.
That is 100% Syrah.
Okay. Oh, that's so good. Oh, it's relaxing. Yeah, and it does have that buttery taste. Like that finish from the beginning to the end, it's just smooth.
When I produce the wines, I don't like to over extract. I like the wine to complement the meal, the same level as the meal,
Right.
and not be the base foundation of the entire meal. I don't want it to overpower. When you go out and you have that $30 steak or that $40 steak,
Right.
and it's pan seared with the right seasoning,
Ooh.
butter crusted,
Right.
maybe even Oscar, and you go to have that wine and you taste, oh my gosh, it's great,
Right.
and you go back to cut the steak, it's like, I might as well be eating a $2 piece of chuck because I can't taste it.
Right.
I had to back things up. I do a lot more free run instead of full press with it, and you end up with a little bit softer on the palate that way, less tannins.
Which is nice. I struggle with tannins because I get headaches. So to have that lesser is a nice comfort.
There you go.
Yeah. So is a steak what you would recommend with this, or
I like
because
tri-tip.
it can't just
I like a good smoked tri-tip, or
uh-huh.
another one that I like to do is a friend of mine. He's a hunter, and occasionally he gets some nice quality meat. And he brought me some antelope years ago, and we butterflied it out. I put prosciutto in there, fromage d'Affinois cheese, some
Oh.
rosemary, because it offsets the sage that the antelope actually eat, and the rosemary
Okay.
complement. Roll that up and make a bacon braid and lay that in the bacon braid and then
Oh my
butcher
goodness.
twine it, smoke it for about 6 hours. And then I take that wine right there and I make a blackberry reduction sauce on the stove with that, and I glaze over the top of it. That's my
Oh my
favorite.
goodness. Okay, so do you also have? I mean, are you guys talking about opening a restaurant? Because
No.
everything you've been talking
No.
about, I'm like, oh, this sounds incredible.
My wife can cook amazing meals, and we do a lot of different things. We'll take it home and we'll try different foods. We want to create something so if somebody asks, we can say, okay, I would try this.
This is
or this is what
exactly
we
what-
try.
Oh, that sounds incredible. That sounds
fun.
incredible.
It's fun. It's
Wow.
another part of that art. What are
Totally.
you doing when you have that finished product? What can you do with it now besides put it into a glass and enjoy it?
Right.
You can add it to your meals. You can use it to complement your meals.
And have you guys, like, on your website or whatever, do you usually just give these recommendations verbally, or have you, like, given recommendations, like, on your website of, like, ooh, this would be great with this, or have you not gone
Usually
to that?
verbally.
Usually
yeah.
verbally. Mm-hmm. Oh, my
People have
goodness.
different styles of taste.
Well, of course. Yeah.
So people say, what would you recommend with a fillet? Or what would you recommend with seafood? Or what would you
Perfect.
recommend
Yeah,
with
of course.
Oscar? Just anything. And
Mhm. And
my
you're like,
wife's,
okay, well,
my
this is
wife's
my...
she's really up on that stuff. She's really
That's
studied.
so cool. And like it's an art and it's a science and oh my goodness. Well, I need to go eat dinner now because he's made me starving. So thank you so much for joining us for Unwind Thursdays. This is Terril from Scatter Creek, and I hope that you go and visit him, and I hope that you come and visit us. So you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Now, can I say the address?
Go for it. Yeah.
We're
let's
at
Scatter.
we're in Tenino, Washington, We're at 237 Sussex Avenue, right in the heart of downtown Tenino, across from the antique malls. If you're unsure where Tenino is, drive down I-5, take the Great Wolf Lodge exit, go 8 miles east, right in the heart of Tenino. It's a historical sandstone mining town. We have a museum, a quarry swimming pool. It's 160 foot deep. The bike trails are a block and a half behind us.
Goodness.
Yeah, we have a park with campground in there. It's fun.
Okay, well, come and you'll probably run into me because I think this might be my new favorite place.
Good deal.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
you guys
you.
have a great rest of your day. And we're done.
The wheel's spinning. I said the thing to
But
stop.
the light turned
Oh
on.
my God.